Hi, and welcome back once again to Leadership A to Z. I'm Grace Judson, and today we are working on the letter E. E is for empathetic. And before you get carried away by what I might mean by this, let me explain what I do mean by this. I do not mean the kind of empathy that we would show to a close friend or a family member who's going through a hard time. I mean what I call professional empathy, which is about understanding the other person, your team members, potentially your colleagues, or even your boss, well enough that you can position what you need them to do, what you're asking them for, what the requests that you're making, any kind of communication that you have with them in a way that they will most likely be receptive to it, open to it, willing to take it in, willing to do what it is that you want them to do. This kind of empathy is not about taking on an emotional burden. That is what I typically would call personal or private empathy that you would have with like I said, a close friend or family member. This is the kind of empathy that gets you to step outside of your own perspective, because all too often in the workplace, especially as leaders, we're focused on what it is that we need, we want, we need other people to do. That's, human nature. I'm not saying there's necessarily anything wrong with it. What I am saying, though, is that it can close you down in a way that makes it very difficult to have the kind of communication that you want to have with your team. When you can get outside of your own head, outside of your own little universal bubble there, you can understand the other person a little bit better. You can ask yourself, what's going on for this person? Why, if this person is behaving in a weird way, why might they be behaving that way? Why would a reasonable person behave the way they're behaving, for instance? So especially in situations of conflict, this is really a useful tool to have in your tool belt, or a useful quality to have as part of your leadership quality set. But just in everyday communication, being empathetic to what's going on for the other person doesn't mean you agree with them, doesn't mean you let them get away with stuff, but it does mean that you have a greater understanding and can therefore work with them in a way that is much more likely to get the results that you want. So that is E for empathetic. And then next we have F, and I'm going to wait and let you find out what F is next week.